Hey everybody, I'd like to give you guys an update on what's been going on lately. First, of course, the usual caveats. Number one, I'm not a doctor, so nothing I say here today should be construed as medical advice. It's just what doctors and others have told me, and more importantly, how I interpret that. Secondly, we're going to talk today about cancer, more specifically prostate cancer. So that makes some people, feel uncomfortable. If you're one of those people, just know what you're getting into. All right, so a couple of weeks ago, I was able to have my first visit with a local oncologist. Overall, I think the visit went fine. The oncologist there is a little concerned about the extent of spread of the cancer. And he had talked about possibly doing a biopsy on one of the lymph nodes somewhere else in the future sometime. More immediately, he wants to start me on a 4 to 6 regimen of 4 to 6 dose regimen of a chemo called docetaxel. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, so I apologize. It's a pretty scary chemo as far as what the literature says on it, but it is what it is. I'll probably do something else at a later time as far as what those side effects are, but not looking forward to it. But it is just 4 to 6 doses, unfortunately, over the entire football season and some of my favorite holidays. So that's that. But the sequence of events for how that would go is I would get a CT scan to kind of give the doctor a baseline on where the cancer is currently at based on the treatment that I've already been on for the last 3 months. Then I would get a port put in. That way they don't have to run an IV every time I go in for treatment. As you know, the chemo is supposed to kill everything in the body and raise everything back up, which of course makes the veins a little bit more fragile and things like that. So after that surgery, I don't know how long afterwards, but I'd undergo my first round. And again, it's once every 3 weeks for 4 to 6 rounds of treatment. The next thing that has happened is I then went to New York City, specifically to Memorial Sloan Kettering, which is one of the premier cancer centers in America, to get a second opinion from a very experienced oncologist there. That appointment was very different than most of the appointments that I've had so far. I would even venture to say that it was somewhat positive. First thing that she opened with was, you don't want cancer, but you've got the right cancer at the right time, just based on the number of treatments and the amount of progress that the medical community has made in treating this disease. So, she had she was very, not upbeat, but she was a very no BS type doctor, didn't pull any punches, and was pretty straightforward. She had actually lost several family members to the disease, which spurred her interest in it, which I thought was unfortunate but cool in a sense. But the second question I had for her was, because I'd had the impression based on what doctors had told me here, was that my cancer was rare in some way or unique. And I asked her opinion on that, and her response was that there was nothing rare or unique about my cancer, that she saw, I think her words were, "I see plenty of you all the time." And she offered some reassuring anecdotes or anecdotal stories about patients that she's had diagnosed younger than me, that she has kept alive for quite a while on treatment similar to what I'm going through at the moment. So that was reassuring. She also sat down and went through my PSMA scan with me on a television to kind of scroll through and actually show me where the cancer was popping up, which I hadn't had done yet. And ultimately, she concurred with what the doctor here would like to do as far as treatment goes. So with that, I think that's what we've kind of decided to do. I have an appointment this Friday with the local oncologist, and at that point, I'll let him know what we've decided. Before then, or hopefully he at that point will have had the results of my genetic blood testing. Maybe that'll shine a light on some additional things. But we're going to go ahead and go with chemo, and at that point, we'll, I guess, get an appointment for the CT scan, unless they can do it at the office, and then the port, and then we'll start doing chemo. So obviously I'll be giving you guys updates, probably some pretty brutal updates, I would imagine, as I'm going through chemo, which nobody will want to watch, I'm sure, but it'll be primetime viewing for sure. But other than that, everything here is good. Life is good. I'm feeling fine. Everybody's been absolutely awesome. I appreciate all the notes of encouragement and wishes. Please keep those up. They do help me. Trust me. Some of these days, there are good days and bad days, just like anything else. But I really appreciate each and every single one of you. I know that you're behind me, and I can feel it, and it helps. So thank you. And until next time, remember, anything is possible.